Hey everyone, I'll be covering all of the Nintendo Switch's game announcements for the 4th week of March, so let's get started. The first-person story-driven psychological horror game, Blair is based off the cinematic lore of the movies, while you'll navigate through a cursed forest that wraps and distorts both time and space as your sanity begins to wane. Set in the medieval world where rats rule the other creatures, Ghost of a Tale weaves an epic yet intimate story about combining elements of classic adventure, action RPG, and exploration with rich and highly immersive visual styles. Experience chaotic arena shooting in Mist Hunter, a roguelike with hundreds of upgrades that will drastically change your playstyle, power-ups that will make the toughest fight seem like a cakewalk, and tons of magical weapons. Enjoy fast and fluid twitch combat of varying levels of traversal. Travel through the parish world of Penumbra to explore unique areas filled with diverse enemies, sharp 3D platforming challenges, quests, and collectibles in Blue Fire, as the void is ever encroaching upon you. The next iteration of Uno is here with Uno Flip, adding several new twists like double-sided decks. Flip is an extension of the original game that you can buy separately or purchase as a bundle on the eShop with an all-new revamped multiplayer mode. As a quantum athlete competing 1v1 and 2v2 matches in arenas where the time loop feature will rewind time and revive you, allowing you to tactically team up with yourself to entrap the enemy and correct mistakes in an instant. Exit the dungeon as a bullet-hell dungeon climber immediately following the adventures of the Misfit Gungeoneers, as their journey of personal absolution and enter the gungeon finalized. Battle against the last and most bitter of the gun-dead at a frantic pace to get out. Night Dive Studios is working on a full remastering of the PC classic Blade Runner Enhanced Edition, the point-and-click adventure game based off the popular franchise released all the way back in 1997, and the story runs tangentially with the original 80s film. The adventure game The Last Campfire is a story of a lost ember trapped in a puzzling place, searching for meaning and a way back home. Travel deeper into the lands beyond the dark forest and overcome adversity through sheer will. Perception is reality, escape from mind-bending dreams where everything is exactly as it seems, and Superliminal, a first-person puzzler based off forced perspective and optical illusions. Defeating the old gods is no easy task in the Souls-like pixel art boss rush game Eldest Souls. The old gods have been long in prison and humanity has prospered without them, and they've taken notice. Great kingdoms have arisen from the now forsaken temples of worship and they are not happy. Bounty Battles is the ultimate indie 2D fighting multiplayer game with over 20 popular characters from prestigious indie games that will congregate to fight. Enjoy a story mode and couch multiplayer with plenty of other modes when it releases this summer. I Am Dead takes place in a small but remarkable island in the North Atlantic with a long and rich history. You play as Morris, a ghost that can see inside objects and people to reveal not just what they have on them but their memories as well. House Flipper is a unique chance to become a one-man renovation crew. Buy, repair, and remodel devastated houses and give them a second life and sell them for a profit. Including 8 of the classic Space Invader games, Space Invaders Invincible Collection has all the classic arcade games, several PC entries, and even a mobile one when it releases March 26th. With its unique living board, Faria will challenge you with its strategic card battles. Craft your deck, shape the battlefield to your advantage, and fight for victory either alone or in local versus. Beat criminal overlords and become the biggest fish in the city and the street racer with over 70 cars to choose from. Let your creativity flow with tons of customization in the mobile to console board of Top Speed Dragon Fast Racing. Sin Slayer's Enhanced Edition is an RPG with roguelike elements set in a dark fantasy world where world choices will determine how challenging the fights will be and how enemies will be tackling you in classic turn-based combat. The debt repayment daily life RPG, The Good Life, puts you in the shoes of Naomi, a journalist from New York who moved to the backwoods of a British town called Rainy Woods in order to pay off her debt and figure out her life and stabilize her love. In a grim dystopian future, mankind has scattered across the galaxy. You, a poor stateless outcast, is forced to live off scraps, build a team of scavengers, enhance their skills, and set out on dungeon runs for sustenance and freedom. Side Games announced that the card battler RPG Shadowverse Champions Battle is hitting the eShop this summer. This game will be based off the anime that will begin airing on April 7th. Enter a frenetic food fight as one of 8 dishes, pushing off other delicacies off the table in a single player or local multiplayer versus for up to 4 players. You're a bird enthusiast researching and discovering new bird types. Attempt to build a natural preserve in a limited number of turns in the trading card game Wingspan. The roguelike sim Curious Expedition is set in the late 19th century, where you venture on unprecedented expeditions to regions never before explored in the search for fame, science, and treasures. Trying to make the world a better place, McCarthy isn't like many of his kin. School sucks, you can't get a date, and bullies attack you often. How will you deal with these issues from the first chapter of the series? Blast bullets back at baddies while flying over whimsical worlds filled with vivid kooky colors and skyrocket. Grab your laser tennis racket, dress yourself up nicely, and battle a horde of fluffy enemies. Bark takes space shoot-em-ups to a whole new level of cooperative party play with up to 4-player couch co-op. Navigate the galaxy as you blast through the space armada of fishy-themed enemies. Smelter is a strategic action platformer combo inspired by some of the classics from the 16-bit era. Players will find themselves alternating between top-down strategic gameplay where you're tasked to help your units and expand your territory. Help the mortal realm solve its myriad of issues in the Rhythm of the Gods, an auto-runner rhythm game inspired by the classics. Chew your way through 120 levels of puzzle gameplay in Necroworm. Collect keys, open doors, and plan out your moves to never end up trapped in a corner. And that's what the game announcers will be covering this week. The Nindies Direct was a solid showing, and if the rumors hold true, a Direct should be following next week. So with all that said, as per always, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate the support, and be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. See ya!